You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WLAK Daily News Roundup for Lake Air, 107.5 FM and 1260 AM in Amory.
For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly. The University of Wisconsin-Superior and the University of Minnesota-Duluth have both been recognized as research colleges and universities. According to officials from both universities, the Carnegie classification as research colleges and universities is meant to highlight the school's commitment to advancing research and their overall contributions to the academic and scientific community. School officials also credited the hard work of their students and staff for helping them run the programs that led to receiving the research classifications. A former Bayfield County man is facing over 50 years in prison after being accused of mistreating several horses. According to court documents, 73-year-old Kim Kingsley is facing 4 charges of mistreatment leading to death, 14 charges of intentionally mistreating animals, 20 charges of intentionally failing to provide food for an animal, and 20 charges relating to shelter for the involved horses. Mistreatment of animals is a Class 1 felony, and the charges could land Kingsley behind bars for the rest of his life. He's scheduled to appear in court next week. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers delivered his biennial budget proposal in Madison on Tuesday night. During his speech, Governor Evers expressed his intent to benefit Wisconsin's working families. He aims to use the budget to lower costs for childcare and medication and invest in public education. He also proposed nearly $2 billion in relief for taxpayers, eliminating income taxes on tips, and forestalling increases in local property taxes. The budget also calls for expanding badger care and increasing environmental cleanup spending. The Barron County District Attorney has announced no charges will be filed against the driver of a boat that crashed nearly head-on into another boat in September. According to the District Attorney's report, the investigation into the September 10th crash on Lake Pokegama found no signs of impairment in the driver at fault, and officials believe a medical event involving the driver could have caused the crash. The driver was still cited for failing to safely pass after causing the collision that injured one of the men fishing on the other boat. New data from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services found gun-related deaths in Wisconsin are on the decline for the first time since before the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the data, gun deaths overall are still at higher levels than before the pandemic, but saw slight drops from 2022 to 2023. Gun-related suicides in the state dropped from 532 to 508, and gun-related homicides dropped from 290 to 238. Violence prevention officials say the drop is very encouraging. Incumbent State Superintendent of Public Instruction Dr. Jill Underly and her Republican-backed challenger Brittany Kinzer will face off in the April election after Tuesday's primary. The nonpartisan primary featured 3 candidates, with the top 2 vote-getters moving on to face off head-to-head in April. Sauk Prairie School District Superintendent Jeff Wright was eliminated from the race on Tuesday. Dr. Underly was first elected to the position in 2021 and vowed to continue supporting Wisconsin's public school teachers and students. The Ashland City Council voted to approve nearly $180,000 of water utility funding to purchase new filters for the city's water plant. The city approved the purchase of nearly 200 filters after determining that the filters installed about 8 years ago had reached the end of their useful life and had started to contribute to pipe clogging issues. Officials say the new filters will ensure residents have access to clean drinking water and ensure the system can produce enough clean water in the event of a fire or water main break. A Barron County man was taken into custody following a high-speed crash in Polk County. According to court documents, 55-year-old Richard Manning was arrested following a crash in which he allegedly struck another car at approximately 60 miles per hour. Witnesses told authorities that they saw Manning's vehicle driving erratically prior to the collision. Manning allegedly refused to submit to a field sobriety and breath test, and he was subsequently charged with operating while intoxicated, which would be his 5th OWI offense. On Tuesday, the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled that Republican officials lacked standing to challenge the use of a mobile voting van in the 2022 primary election. The 4 liberal justices voted to dismiss the case, with the 3 conservative justices dissenting. They ruled that Racine County's Republican Party chairman Ken Brown had no standing to file the lawsuit because he was not aggrieved by the use of the van. The decision did not consider the legality of mobile voting vans, which could leave them as an option for voters in future elections. Individual conservation organizations are taking bird flu mitigation efforts into their own hands with an uncertain future on federal support for tracking the virus. Organizations like the Southern Wisconsin Bird Alliance and Wisconsin Humane Society are sharing tips with residents on how to prevent the spread of bird flu in wild animals, like removing bird feeders to keep wild birds away from backyard chickens. The virus has appeared in multiple counties across Wisconsin, including the first confirmed human case in the state in Barron County. For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly.
Wisconsin beats Illinois. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's college basketball, the Wisconsin Badgers finally get a win over Illinois, 95-74. That ended a 9-game losing streak for the Badgers against the Fighting Illini. Head coach Greg Gard asked, did his players do a better job at getting rebounds, especially in the first half?
We did. We tried. There was a few got away from us. Obviously, the ball bounces funny sometimes. When we didn't get them, there was a group accountability that they were pretty astute in talking about what we needed to get cleaned up.
In Milwaukee, Marquette dominated Seton Hall 80-56. Cam Jones with 14 points. Chase Ross added 11. Baseball, Brewers outfielder Blake Perkins on being named a Gold Glove finalist for his performance last season.
Very grateful seeing the support from my teammates, from the staff. Recognition from my peers around the league is very cool, and it's humbling and very grateful.
That's the Brewers' Blake Perkins with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The hips don't lie, and neither does the torso. Shakira had to cancel a show in Lima, Peru last weekend after she found herself in the emergency room. The singer announced to her 91 million Twitter followers she had an abdominal issue and was not well enough to perform. According to The Hollywood Reporter, she rescheduled the show for Monday, February 17th, and is back at it. Glad it was nothing serious. Could have just been Taco Bell. The Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni drama is in the middle of court filings and subpoenas. During a recent appearance on CBS This Morning, Brendan Sklenar, who shared the big screen with Lively and Baldoni on In It Ends With Us, which is where all the controversy took place, was asked by Gayle King who he is siding with, Team Justin or Team Blake. Sklenar diplomatically answered that he is with Team It Ends With Us. Sklenar was on the show to promote the upcoming second season of Taylor Sheridan's 1923. Closer to home, he starred in Green and Gold, which was shot in Door County and is still in theaters. Guy Pearce says Kevin Spacey made him feel uncomfortable while shooting LA Confidential. Pearce told The Hollywood Reporter the disgraced Spacey targeted him for months on the set back in 1997. The Oscar-nominated Pearce said he was not actually assaulted, but kept brushing off the advances, which was difficult to do because at the time, Spacey was quite powerful and very aggressive. Pearce said when he heard the reports that other actors came forward accusing Spacey of sexual assault, he broke down and sobbed. Pearce is nominated for Best Supporting Actor this year for his role in The Brutalist. And here's something that will make you feel old news. The Breakfast Club just turned 40 this past weekend. The John Hughes film was written in 1982 and put the famous writer-director on the map. The film's initial budget was $1 million and originally was going to be shot independently in Chicago. The Breakfast Club went on to gross $50 million after finally being released in 1985 and became a classic. The SNL 50th anniversary episode Sunday night was a ratings winner for NBC. The broadcast drew almost 15 million viewers between network TV and Peacock. Deadline.com reports that the network says it was their most watched primetime entertainment since the 2020 Golden Globe Awards. Even the red carpet show that aired an hour before the broadcast drew over 6 million viewers between NBC, Peacock, and E! Entertainment. Speaking of SNL, the event was one of the most star-studded specials in recent memory. But there were some notable no-shows, including Dan Aykroyd, Bill Hader, and Dana Carvey. With Aykroyd, his agent told the show's producers months ago he would not be attending. The actor did post on social media praising the show. Bill Hader sent his invitation with a decline and no further details, and Dana Carvey has not even mentioned the show on any social media platforms. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Bormans, gradually pulling out of the deep freeze here this week. Still frigid today, partly sunny with a high near 6, wind chill values as low as 35 below, especially in the morning. For tonight, mostly cloudy with lows near 10 below. Sunny on Thursday, a little bit warmer with a high of 15. Currently, 12 below.
That's your WLAK Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lakeair.radio. The national news cycle never stops. but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.